What's up, people, and welcome to I guess it's a drama video. I don't know what to call it. I like saying drama video, but in reality, all I'm doing is explaining things so people know what's going on. Of course, it is drama to the people involved, but, you know, there's a lot of lore here to unpack. And for those of you that don't know, there is a channel called Soft White Underbelly, run by Mark Lida, or Laida, however you say his last name. I don't think anybody knows how to say his last name. And he has 4.34 million subscribers. Now, Mark does these little exposés on, you know, just people. Drug dealers, pimps, prostitutes, people that pay prostitutes, crackheads, you know, fentanyl addicts, you name it. Tattoo artists, mobsters. If you can think of a type of person, he's probably done a little expose on someone who is in that category. And, you know, he's been accused of being exploitative, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, he does what he does, and he is successful. You know, he does bring attention to these types of people and the issues that surround them. And usually he tries to do right by them and give them sort of assistance if they need it, at least to our knowledge as the viewer. And he kind of blew up even more when he went to Appalachia and interviewed a inbred family called the Whittakers. Now, the Whittakers are exactly what you would expect when you think of inbreeding. But they are people, right? And Mark has done many videos on them, you know, trying to help them. He's done GoFundMes for them. He's done update videos on them. And he has had several GoFundMes set up for them in order to buy a house. Now, we have another YouTuber by the name of Tyler Oliveira. Tyler has 5.76 million subscribers. And Tyler decided he wanted to visit the Whittakers. Now, he asked Mark for the contact info of the Whittakers, and Mark said, no, I have a contract with them. I'm not going to give it to you. So he circumvented that and went to an associate of the Whittakers and got permission from her to visit them. Now, that's all well and good, right? I can understand why Mark didn't want to give out contact info to another YouTuber. And I can also understand why Tyler wouldn't take no for an answer and do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what some YouTuber says, as long as you got permission from the person, I mean, you're ready to go. Now, the problem isn't the video in itself, right? I don't know that I would ever say that any of Mark's videos are exploitative. I don't know if I would say that Tyler's videos are exploitative, at least not to the viewer, again. But at the end of Tyler's video, which was 5 days ago, he basically did this little dig at Mark that insinuated, okay, you're just making money off of these people and they're not getting anything, right? So we're going to go through this because it's kind of crazy, honestly. And I'm going to put myself down here. You know what? I'm going to make myself tiny because I think this deserves more attention. And now both of these YouTubers have put out responses, but this is the reason I don't want to do anything like this. Because when it comes to money, people will just go mask off, gloves off, you know, all right, we're going to start trouble. And that's kind of what happened. So let's go ahead and look at this. I'm going to put my headphones on because I need to know what I'm listening to. And if they decide to fucking copyright strike this, either one of them, fine, I'll just demonetize it and leave it up because people want to know.
Paige texted me. She said, hey, Tyler, you guys had already left when I got in touch with Betty. I called a couple of times and she didn't answer. She was so excited. That is awesome. I feel good. They were super sweet. They were groceried up. It is cold. They were in the middle of nowhere. And Mark,
he bought them groceries.
Where is the house? Paige?
Hey, Tyler. I mean, Mark has always been nice to me, so I hate to be the bash person, but I just want someone, like, hopefully somehow or something, like, funds could be raised for them to, like, because there's money that has been raised. That I mean, we all see it.
Yep.
So, like, there should be, like, goodness, to get them a house, you know?
Thanks so much for letting us be a part of that. It seemed like they were very happy.
Yeah, she was so excited. They really are good people. It's a bizarre situation, but it's, you know, like, they just need somebody to care about them.
I started a GoFundMe linked in this video's description and donated $10,000 of my own money. If you feel moved by these innocent souls and want to help them live their elderly years in peace, feel free to donate below. And Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your 2 GoFundMes, and let's get the Whittakers a new house for reals. Thanks for watching, guys. Also, whoever has the most viewed TikTok or YouTube short.
So, right there. Mark, if you have any honor, then we'll combine our funds and we'll do this. We'll make it happen, right? And Mark took great offense to that. And we're going to see why. Now, Tyler basically came into this situation going, all right, there's a bunch of GoFundMes for a house. They don't have a new house, right? And he decided to start his own GoFundMe, which implies that the money that has been raised by Soft White Underbelly is not being used what it's supposed to be used for. And there's several times in this video where he kind of insinuates that, right? Which the name of the video is I Investigated the Poorest Region of America. Again, he tried to contact Mark, ask him for permission, and then that was it, right? He didn't ask for any background info. He didn't do any of that. He just went in there, made his video, made his insinuations, and then that was the end of it. And this got 1.6 million views. So he's making money off of this video, one way or the other. Now, Mark made a response video called The Problem with Social Media. And in this video, he is, for lack of a better word, pissed the fuck off that Tyler made this video and insinuated what he insinuated, only to say, well, all this money that I've raised for them, I'm constantly being asked by the Whittakers for money. So he pulls the money out of the GoFundMe and gives it to them, to the point where I think he says he gave them $100,000 in a year just for stuff that they wanted, car, whatever, groceries. Tyler shows up, gives them some groceries, and then starts a GoFundMe. So I understand where Soft White Underbelly and Mark Laida are coming from, because I would be pissed off if I had been doing all of this and giving these people all this money, and then some random YouTuber just shows up and says, hey, you're scamming these people, right? Or insinuates, hey, you're scamming these people. So he says, all right, I'm going to stop doing all the GoFundMes. I'm not going to give anybody any more money ever again. And basically he's asked, well, why don't you just call the Whittakers directly, right? Why don't you ask them why Betty says, well, I don't know where the money for the house is, which is what she kind of did. But again, you're talking about people that are highly uneducated, that are, I don't want to insult them, but inbred. And she was just kind of going along with it. She's just like, I don't know where the money for the house is. I don't know, you know. And Mark calls her on this video here. And we're going to watch it because it makes sense what I'm saying, right?
She'll answer the phone.
Now, Betty's the older lady, that kind of older family member that kind of takes care of all of them. And she was in that video right there at the end.
Hello.
Hey, Betty, it's Mark.
Yeah,
Hey, how are you?
I'm alright.
So, I just want to be clear about the GoFundMe money that I've been sending you. Like,
Yeah.
like, how many times like every few weeks you'll call me to ask me for some money, correct?
Not every week I don't.
No, but like typically throughout the year you're calling me many times to ask me for money.
I know that.
I'm sorry?
I know about that.
You don't
Says I
know
know.
about that?
Yeah, I know I've been calling.
Yeah, I know. So I just want to make sure,
I
because
know
like
that.
when Tyler
I know I've been
interviewed
asking
you,
for money.
he asked you like, what's going on with the money? And you said, I don't know. And he asked you about the house, and you said, what house? And it made it look like I'm not giving you guys money. Am I giving you guys money?
Yeah, you've been giving money, but I didn't know you've been giving money for the house down there now, Mark.
Well, I told you, and we talked about this, that we're going to try to generate money for a house.
I know.
Okay, but I've given you over $100,000, like in the last year or so, a couple of months over a year, like the last 14 months, I've given you about $100,000. That adds up to a lot of money. You didn't mention that to Tyler.
Look at who?
Tyler is the young man that
She
interviewed
doesn't even
you
know who he
a while
is.
back.
He's just a random YouTuber.
I know Tyler.
She doesn't
You
know
don't
who
know
that
him.
is. She just knows some dude showed up and
I
gave
know
them
the
groceries and
Tyler.
Okay, well, there's a video on YouTube of you talking with him, and you're saying I didn't give you any money.
I told you you've been giving me money, but I didn't know you were giving me money for the house down there. I thought you were getting it out of your pocket. I didn't know that.
All right, well, regardless of what the money was for, how often will I give you money? Like every few weeks, right?
Every week you do.
Yeah, and it's around what? Like sometimes 4,000, sometimes 5, sometimes more, sometimes it's 2 or 3, right?
that's more than I get.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify that, and that's all I wanted to do, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because it seems like looking at Tyler's video, I don't know what page we were on, but it's a very different page.
I ain't talking to Tyler. I don't know who Tyler is.
Well, maybe that video was created digitally by somebody, but it looks like you talking to him.
But she's not.
I don't know.
Talk about the Tyler.
Well,
She's not going along with. She's following the conversation, but you know.
I mean,
Not
yeah, I don't know.
entirely.
There's a video on YouTube of you talking to this guy, telling him about how I didn't give anybody any money, and I don't know where it came from, but whatever. I just wanted to clarify everything. Thank you for explaining.
Okay.
All right, darling. Thank you very much.
And she sounds confused
All right, bye-bye.
because this guy shows up. You know, this internet celebrity shows up, brings them groceries, starts asking them questions, this, that, and the other, and and none of them are completely there. Again, not trying to be offensive. It's just the objective truth. And she was just trying to follow on the conversation. He's asking about, well, where's the house? This, that, and the other. And she's going, well, I don't have any money for a house. We don't have a new house. You know. But Mark here is upset because she didn't say, oh, well, Mark has been giving us money throughout the year whenever we ask for it. Now, I have a funny feeling if Tyler had asked her that, well, has he given you any money, I don't know, last month? Because all she says is like, well, I haven't talked to him in a week or two, right? Or a couple weeks, something like that. Then I have a feeling the conversation would have changed. But again, this is, you know, why would you include that in your video if you're trying to drum up views, right? Trying to drum up controversy. So, you know, I understand where Soft White Underbelly is coming from here, where Mark, I'm just going to refer to him as Mark because I don't feel like saying Soft White Underbelly every single time. And that is the reason you really, really don't want to get involved in fundraising, giving charity, anything that involves money as a channel. Unless you're somebody like Mr. Beast where you got millions to toss around for, you know, a couple million views, then by all means, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying. But, you know, these aren't small channels. These aren't tiny creators. These are big creators. And I get it. I get why Mark here is upset and why he would be upset thinking that the Whittakers are going, oh, well, we don't get any money from him. Which when you watch the previous video, it doesn't really seem that way. That's what Betty was trying to say. And hopefully, you know, he mends things with them and kind of lets them know the ins and outs of the internet and why people do stuff like this. Now, Tyler Oliveira made a response video to this response video. And it's not a good look, honestly. So this is a 6-minute video. and I'm just going to probably go halfway through it just so you can see the response. It's kind of a backpedal. Well, I didn't do this. I just brought it up. And now you're mad type of thing.
All right, update on the Whittakers and Mark Laida. One day ago, I uploaded a video about West Virginia. In the last 7 minutes of the video, I go to the Whittakers' house, drop off some groceries, and I ask Betty Whittaker what's going on with the house and where's the money. I'm referring to a
He's trying to imply it was like investigative journalism,
where he raised $77,000 from the generous donations of many people watching his videos with the Whittakers, with the intent to buy the Whittakers a new home.
And the fucking Elder Scrolls music in the background. What?
Help
Why?
the Whittakers purchase a new home. Now, I asked Betty what's going on with the money. She says, Mark says we've run out of money. What house?
Well, now you know why.
Need, basically. So, I uploaded this to my video, and I open-endedly asked Mark, what's going on with the GoFundMe? Where's the money?
No, he says if you have any honor,
I did not call him names.
You'll combine
I merely asked
money.
the question I myself was curious about, and thousands of other people in Mark's own channel have asked him. And I would imagine that includes many people who have donated to the cause, which is to help buy them a new home.
You know what? I'm going to speed this up.
Which brings me to my next point. Mark uploads a video to his channel where he says he's transferred over $100,000 worth of his viewers' donations to Betty Whittaker. There is no money left in the accounts, and they would constantly ask for the money, and he would send it to them. There's no money in the GoFundMe's left for a house, which was the entire goal of the GoFundMe. My problem with this is, A, he could have just updated the viewers every couple months, or every video with the Whittakers, hey, we're actually using these to keep the Whittakers alive. When they ask for it, I send it to them.
He doesn't have to.
The goal of getting them this house is not real, nor will it ever materialize. And just been upfront and honest with, hey, this isn't for the house. This is just for them. If you want to donate to them, here it is. Cool.
It was for the house. They asked him for money, so he pulls from their money.
To that GoFundMe is under the impression it is going towards the larger purchase of a home, not for random living expenses that Mark will send their way in the chunks of $4,000 to $5,000 every 2 weeks to a month. Way to frame it. Transaction. He's basically sending a couple grand every 2 weeks, every month, quite frequently. He's sending them the money as they ask. There's no money left in the GoFundMe. As the money comes in, the GoFundMe, the money goes out of the GoFundMe. Now, this is
See, he's justifying it by saying, "Oh, well, you didn't specifically say that this money can be used for other things. You just said it was for a house." That's I wouldn't even call that a backpedal. That's just a Weasley tactic to make it seem like, okay, I'm in the right, you're wrong. Okay, fuck off. You know? He doesn't have to do that. He's raising money for them. The initial reason for raising the money is for a house. Now, if they have something come up where they need that money, he's giving them the money. If Betty asks Mark for $4,000 or $5,000 every other week, sustainably, you can't do that. So where's he going to get the money from? Obviously, the money that people are donating for them, right? It makes sense.
Great update. Kudos to Mark for giving them the money. They are, in fact, entitled because the donors gave the Whittakers the money, not Mark. Many people are saying, I basically ruined the relationship between them, when in reality, that's between them. If Mark wants to cut them off for not maybe fully understanding the situation, and he's that frustrated that one person with a platform asked the question of what's going on with the public GoFundMe.
It's the framing.
Donated to the GoFundMe.
He spent the entire time insinuating that Mark hasn't given them any money. That is the problem.
Forever because it calls into question what? The timeline in which he intends on giving these people the money, his ethics, what's going on? Genuinely, I'm asking a very basic update question of, hey, there's a lot of people that have donated to this GoFundMe. What's going on with the money? Pure, simple, cut and dry. Didn't accuse him of being a scammer. Didn't call many names. I merely asked what was going on here. Mark's frustration is that I didn't email him personally, which I asked him open-endedly on the video, and we now have this update. So it has taken all this time and all of this money for me to ask one question that he's now responded to, and we now all have clarity that the GoFundMe to get them a home was never going to happen. He's been sending them their money.
It's not that it was never, again, this is a Weasley tactic. It's not that it was never going to happen. It's that they were raising money for it, and things happen. He had to give them money. Shit happens, right? So him saying, oh, well, this was never going to happen. You should have never titled it, it's for a house. That's not necessarily true. The initial purpose was for the house. It's just that other things came up, and now that money has to be diverted. That's the truth of it. You can see here, 10,000 people did not like this.
And honestly, if he was just a little bit transparent with, hey, here's the update, guys, here's how your money's being spent. Keep in mind, this isn't his money that he's spending. He is the manager of the funds donated to the GoFundMe for them. If he just said that update, me and so many other people would not have been so confused and asked the question. I just asked the question of what was going on. His response
that's not confusion. You wouldn't have made a video about it. You would have just asked him directly, how is this money being used?
Thank God he's actually sent them the money. I think that's great.
People have questions. That's how you would do it. That's what I would do.
An adequate update here and there. But the people are sending him their money with the expectation that it went towards a house.
They were in the
Instead,
dark. No one knew how this was being allocated
reads as a
until I
hit
asked
piece.
this question. No one knew what was happening with the money. No one knew what was going on. I think it is our job to ask these questions, even if they're a bit uncomfortable. I think he's frustrated we didn't ask him directly. But what he's doing with these people, generating videos with tens of millions of views, generating tens of thousands of dollars for them, obligates a certain level of responsibility where he updates people occasionally.
There
on
it
how
is.
their money
It's
is being
your
spent.
fault. It's not
Shout out
my
to Mark
fault.
for actually giving them the money, but it's still
Well,
updated.
but
We're not
at
leaving
least
the
you
house.
gave them the money,
We're
right?
allocating the money bi-weekly whenever they ask for it, and they're spending it however they desire. That's all we would have needed. And the people can then make the decision to, hey, I'm going to donate to the Whittakers vaguely, and however they spend it, or I'm not going to donate to them because they might spend it on something that's not a house, and I don't agree with that. We have to give the viewers and the donors transparency to allow them to make the decision of how their money is being spent. With that being said, I currently have a GoFundMe in the link in the description of the West Virginia.
Okay, and he made his own GoFundMe and donated 10 grand of his own money. Okay, that's all well and good. Great. You've got 5.76 million subscribers. That's a drop in the bucket for you. But Mark, who is now saying, all right, well, I don't want to do this anymore because it's just ruined for me. And people are already looking at me like I'm shady, which immediately after his video came out, there were people all in the comments calling him a fucking scumbag, this, that, and the other. Like they were reaming him because it was phrased as a hit piece. It was insinuated that Mark was not giving the money to the Whittakers at all. That's how it looks. That's how I thought it looked. In fact, I was sitting there waiting for that response video from Mark for some more info because I was like, wait a minute. If this is true, this is really, really, really fucking bad. And come to find out, he was doing the right thing. He was giving them money. And hopefully, he doesn't cut them off because those people do need help, right? They don't need to be drawn into fucking YouTube drama by some other creator that's trying to generate views, which is exactly what he does. That's the whole point of being a YouTuber. That's why I'm making this video right fucking now. For views. Otherwise, what's the point? Right? Now, obviously, the views are just part of it. This is just so people get an explanation and they know what's going on, and then you can decide for yourself who you want to side with on this. Me personally, I don't really like the way Software Underbelly does a lot of their videos, and I don't really like Tyler's version of journalism. So, I could care less one way or the other. What I do think is shitty is the fact that these people are now involved in YouTube drama, and that is going to affect their relationship with somebody that was already helping them. So, the whole thing could have been avoided. Just plain and simple. Could have just been like, you know what? I'm going to email Mark directly. I'm going to ask him all these questions, and then I'm going to go visit the Whittakers and then do my own video, right? But that's not what happened. Now, you get the situation that we're in now between these two and the Whittakers caught in the middle. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, don't do stuff like this. I mean, I don't do hit pieces without facts, without actual proof and information.